Um, if there's no other questions, Jack, do you kind of just want to, again, we've gone over the partnership agreement. I think unless there's any questions, you and I talked about just the final adjustments we'd want to see on that. Do you just want to go, again, high level over the deal, kind of step by step, timelines, specs of the deal, that kind of stuff real quick?
Yeah, too easy. So I'm gonna pull up the underwriting sheet right now. Oh my God, I lost you guys. I have too many browsers. Okay, sorry. Here we go.
If there's no other questions, Jack, do you kind of just want to, again, we've gone over the partnership agreement. I think unless there's any questions, you and I talked about just the final adjustments we'd want to see on that. Do you just want to go, again, high level over the deal, kind of step by step, timelines, specs of the deal, that kind of stuff real quick?
Yeah, too easy. So I'm gonna pull up the underwriting sheet right now. Oh my God, I lost you guys. I have too many browsers. Okay, sorry. Here we go. Share. Okay, so this is the property. We're closing on Friday. From closing, so I already have my GC who's running the deal with me. He and I are partnering on it. So we close.
Can you explain just DC real quick for the boys?
GC, general contractor.
GC, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. So he owns a roofing company in Atlanta, but he has a lot of crews doing like hurricane restoration here in Augusta. Because when we got hit by Hurricane Helene back in October, like nobody was ready for it, and so I actually am housing a couple of his crews in a duplex that I have in Augusta. But so right now, closing is scheduled for the 5th, which is Wednesday. I thought it was Friday, but it's Wednesday. Once we close, we'll have the keys. We'll have full access to the property. What we're looking at for budget is about $40,000 is what I have budgeted. The GC, the general contractor, because he and I are partnering on it, he's not like upcharging me on any of the labor materials or anything like that. And so, and in exchange, I'm basically splitting it 50-50 with him on the profit side. Let me pull up the text message with him. Actually, I'm gonna run down like really quick what the scope of work looks like on it, or like the okay. So for drywall repair, paint, etc., we're looking at 5,600 for labor and materials. Exterior paint and like wood repair, stuff like that, is 5,300 labor and material. Redoing the bathrooms, the tiles and the floors, in the showers and everything is 9,000 for labor. It's probably gonna be like 3,000 for material on that one. We're gonna refinish the hardwood floors, and that's gonna be about 4,600 for labor and material. And then he has like a number here for removing the carpet and installing LVP. I think the number has to be wrong because I just did another house in Martinez, Georgia, which is it's just like a suburb of Augusta. Like half they actually like share a zip code. And I think I did the entire floor in that house, it was like 500 square feet larger. I did the entire floor with LVP in that house for like 12 grand. The number he has here on this text message is 25 to remove carpet and install LVP. And so I think there's a typo there. It's probably going to be, it says 900 labor, which makes sense. And then probably for material, it's going to be in the range of like, I mean, it's really only one bedroom. I can't see it being more than a couple thousand, like couple grand. So that's kind of where.
One quick note on that for Dan and Jeff, right? I think when we talk about potential risk, obviously, the appraisal, right? But I think what Jack also brings to the table to mitigate a lot of risk is these relationships, these GCs, right? Coming on as equity partners, splitting the profits. There's a good relationship built there. So that's where we're cutting a lot of the cost, I think, just for, the general sense of how are we getting these returns, kind of juiced up returns. And when he talks about the appraisal and the comparables, I think you'll kind of see why like how that plays into the accuracy and how there's where, and Jack will speak to it, like that's where a lot of people fuck this up
Yeah.
is it could completely, foobar the cost and they think it's going to appraise for more because they're not doing the due diligence on the comparables or on the actual potential rehab costs.
Yeah. Exactly right. And so for one, like you said, I'm cutting a lot of costs on the rehab, like 40. That there's room in there for the roof. We couldn't get a quote on the roof because it was like hurricane damaged. And so I left to, like, after going through that list, there's about like $8,000 to $10,000 there to do the roof. So we have wiggle room and everything on that. And so what I'm looking at for the ARV, which is the after repair value, is about 280,000. I have a purchase price of 155, looking at about 35 for the like cash to close and everything like that. I'm looking at a $52,000 profit for myself to split with the GC. So he and I will both make 25, 26 grand. It'll be a little less if you guys go. So what Carter and I had talked about for y'all, and I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but for the 40,000, we had discussed 12% flat for 3 months. If I get you out in 3 months, and if it takes 4 months or more, then it goes up to 20%, and so there'll be $8,000 back to y'all on the 40. And if that's the case, then we'll have 49,000 to split, right? And so like it's not a significant additional cost to us if it goes past that, but it is like an additional 8% ROI for you guys if it goes past the 3 months. That being said, if we start work this week, looking at for $40,000 or $40,000 reno, probably looking at like 6 weeks to be finished. So we're looking at, I would say, mid-March we should be out of the house as far as workers go, and that's the perfect time to be selling a house like this because that's right close to the end of the school year. It's enough time to it'll be on market. People are going to be looking at it in like March and April, and then by the time probably give it 30 days, 45 days to find a buyer. We can check days on market, like average days on market, 30 to 45 days to find a buyer, and then probably closed by I would say mid-May at the latest. Fingers crossed. And what happens if I don't sell it by mid-May? Well, what would basically happen is I would make sometimes you just got to make a decision that like, hey, it's more important to get you guys out than for me to like maximize my ROI, right? And so at that point, what I would do is I would refinance it's called a bridge loan, but it's really just like it's a rate and term hard money loan that replaces all the existing debt on the property, and I can get one of those up to 80% loan to value. And so are there any questions on that point, like what we talked about so far?
I appreciate you hitting that as far as the collateral goes. But yeah, sorry, Dan, Jeff, anything, boys?
Sounds pretty accurate, what was spelled out, similar to the original agreement Carter let us take a look at. But appreciate you talking us through that. Yeah, sure. And it shows a lot about you if you care about your private money lenders or people that are going to assist you through this process. Then, I think that goes a long way, for long-term gain.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm gonna pull up. It's like a web app called DealSauce. It's just like it helps me pull comps and gives like a lot of like kind of public record data about different properties and stuff. But I want to show you kind of where I pull my comps from and why I think it's gonna sell for 280 at the end of the day. I gotta share my screen again. Okay, so here's the property. It is on this corner. Central Avenue is not like it's most of the street is like it's two lanes, one back and forth, right? In some parts of it gets a little larger, like over here, and it's not really bigger. It's just that there's a median in the middle, because they put trees in the middle, like right here, those trees. This side of Central Avenue is like the poorer side, if you will, as far as if you go like to this side of Augusta. So I have a house right here. It's right here, this house. I own this one. And it's like in just like the less expensive side of Central Avenue. And you'll see that when I switch over to the comparables, you'll see that there's like if you go from, where's the property at? I lost it right here. If you switch from over here to over here, you'll go from an ARV of like over here there's like a couple of houses that sold for 280. You go over here and there's houses selling for like 175 at the top, right? And that's just like based on like where it's at. But the reason I really like this property, like, yeah, it's on this, like, it's a slightly busy road. It's not like a highway or anything like that. And the reason I like it, one, you've got a small airport right here. You've got Augusta University, and then it's, I mean, a mile-ish from the country club. And based on the location, is proximity to a couple of golf courses, golf course, hospitals. I mean, this is going to go, I think it's going to go really quick once we get it listed because of its like central location to everything that is in Augusta is like right here. Like this is all that matters in Augusta. It's like outside of the Army base. And so what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to this screen, and let me see. Yeah, so just within a mile, right? So this neighborhood right here is like right outside the country club or the like the Augusta Nationals, and so that's like just a mile away. And I'm looking at a 1 mile radius from the property. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink my parables because I don't need it to be that crazy. 1300 to 1500. And this, I'm just filtering by square footage. So I'm going to get only properties that are within 200 square feet, like size of the, or really within 100 square feet of the subject property. And what you see like right away is there was one over here last time I looked. It might be a little bit off by square foot. Let me change this to there it is. Okay. So this one's actually listed. The green bubble is listed right now. But it's listed at 290. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square feet. So it's listed, it looks like it's listed at 290 right now, and I'll pull it up in a second. But what I'm really interested in is this one that sold for 280 in May of 2024, and this one that sold for 280 in October of 2024. So this is a really good comparable because it sold in like a slower time of year. And so as long as we can match the like the kind of fixtures and everything that show on this one, I don't think we'll have any issue. Like 280 at the low end. This one, the fact that it sold a year ago around the same time that we're expecting to sell ours, and it's, you know, similar square feet, similar bed bath count. It's a really strong comparable, other than the fact that it sold a little like longer ago than you tend to want to pull a comparable from. Typically, you try to stay within like the last 6 months or so. But I'm kind of extrapolating off the fact that like it sold last year at the same time of year that we're planning to sell this year. And so I'm pulling off of that data and then off the fact that this sold at a slower time of year with 100 less square feet. So I'm highly confident in being able to hit 280. There's one down here that sold for 291. I wouldn't really use it. It's not too far off on the square footage. It sold in like February of last year, which is again farther away time wise, and also it's like on the outskirts of what I would consider like a reasonable distance. But it like when it comes to getting an appraisal, it's something that I would be able to use. I'd be able to say, hey, this one sold for 290. If it came to like I need to get it to appraise a little bit higher or whatever, to refinance you guys out, I would say this one sold for 290, 280, 280, then this one. I want to see what this one looks like. So this one's active on the MLS, like I said, and it's like not really. So you can see this isn't really updated. It's currently being lived in. This looks like honestly, it kind of looks either like oh my gosh, what's it called? It's like when you take little like wood strips and glue them together. It looks really pretty usually, but it's kind of less valuable in terms of like resale value than like granite would be. And then obviously the floors are not really updated. This is like the cabinets have not been updated. So this is like a well kept but not updated property. Let me see. It's yeah. So it was listed 280 days ago. Actually, I'm gonna make an offer on this one. You guys want to see what he owes on it? You guys want to see what he owes on
Curious.
it? It'll tell him.
Sure.
Okay, so it looks like he owes 205 and he bought it for 230. Okay, so he thinks it went up 80,000 or like $50,000 worth of appreciation over the last 2 years. But obviously, like I said, he didn't update it. These are not updated cabinets. Even in the kitchen, these are like it's well kept, right? I mean, it's a nice house, good floors, but it's not up like brand new, newly renovated, anything like that. So I mean, he probably needs to sell it for like if he drops it to like 270 or 280, it'd probably sell, I think. It's kind of interesting that it has not sold, actually.
Is that at all concerning to you?
Say that again.
Is that at all concerning that it hasn't sold?
I
don't know
not
what you just said about it.
Like for me, not particularly. Like I mean, I haven't talked to this agent, and I probably will now just to kind of get some feedback on like, hey, why hasn't this one sold? And that way I can kind of take those lessons and apply it to like when we're doing our renovation. But if you look at the ones that have sold that are much closer, like this one's like over here. It's same situation. It's very close to this, somewhat like it's about the same size road as what we're on. But so is this one, right? And so is this one over here. It's on like a little side street. This one, sorry. But if you look at this one, again, this one's 100 square feet smaller. It sold in October at 280. And when it opens the pictures, if it opens the pictures, which of course, why would it do that? Why would it show us pictures? I'd have to have an agent pull pictures for me. Okay, so this one, my assumption here is that it was not updated because it was purchased at 230, and then it was sold over a year later. And so my assumption that it was not updated is because if it was a flip, it would have been sold in the next 6 months of 2023, like early 2024. Late 2023 is when it would have been sold, but instead it sold at like the end of 2024. So my assumption here is that it was not updated from at least from when this person bought it until then. Like I said, probably well kept. This is somebody that lived in it for about 20 years. So they may have done some updates over time. But just based on the fact that this LLC held it for a year, I wouldn't expect that it was updated, right? But I can see if I haven't if one of the agents that I work with, if they can go on the MLS and pull like the listing photos from when it was last listed, or maybe it'll be on Zillow. Hold on. Is this address? Not this one. 1207 Heath Street.
So yeah, while he's doing that, I mean, obviously you can see not just his experience, but the tool, right? I think that's key to see how we get such accurate comparables, how Jack's getting such accurate comparables.
Yeah. So this you can see, little bit larger of a back of a yard space, which is like, that is more attractive than as far as like having that space versus the property that we're working on. But as you can see here, the I mean, these look, I wouldn't say they're original to the house, but this is not an updated floor. An updated floor would look like LVP. It would probably look like some kind of marble tile looking floor. Same sink setup, you know, this backsplash. The floors are not redone. You can see there's just like streaks across it and stuff like that. Old doors. So again, well kept, but not updated. And so based on these photos from when it was listed last year, like I think we have a really good. I don't think it will be difficult to hit 280 based on the fact that this is not updated, right? Again, slightly larger lot, it looks like, based on the over here. Anyways, a little bit bigger yard, but again, the fact that it's not updated, it's really just the house is set back from the road a little bit is really what it is. You can see the yard, all the yard is like over here, based on the photo. And then if you look at what's actually listed right now, in this area. So if you look for, we're going to filter it by square feet. Oh, thank you, baby. Is that your doll? Is she wearing a robe or a blanket? I have a doll. So this one here listed for is listed for 265. It's 80 square feet smaller. This one looks like, based on the fact that the floors are shiny. The floors are shiny, so maybe it was updated. See the kitchen. The kitchen will tell us everything. Yeah, I would say this one was probably updated. If you can see the sure. Oops. You can see that there's like granite countertops or quartz. So this one's updated. It's 80 square feet smaller. So it's probably is like off by the bed bath count. What's wrong, baby? Blanket. I'm working. We look at the property that we are going to be working on. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. And so like it's that other property has 1 less bedroom, 1 less bathroom, or it's the same bath count. So it might be sometimes Zillow shows 2 baths and 1.5 baths as being the same. So I have to go back and check that one. Yeah, so this looks like 2 full baths. So our property has an additional bedroom, 80 extra square feet. And like I said, is we're gonna hit similar finishes. And so as far as like I said, we're gonna redo the floors. The 1 bedroom that has carpet, we're gonna put in LVP instead. And then the kitchen is probably going to look very similar to this as far as having granite countertops. I think it's going to be a little bit more open. The cellars are a little weird, so I personally wasn't able to get in, but I was able to get my GC in. And then Carter, did you show them the pictures that I had access to?
I did not actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Of course I can't because it's in a zip folder. And I shared this folder with you guys. So Carter has I think Carter has the link to this folder. If not, I'll send it out again. Just to make it so that you guys have everything in here. As we go through the renovation on the ROI calculator, I'm gonna add an extra tab here. I'm going to add a tab here that's going to be a copy of this, and it's going to show the actual renovation budget, like as we move forward, right? And then also it's going to, I'm also going to have like an additional tab that lists the, or I'm probably going to include it off to the side, but it's just going to be like line item price, line item price, line item price, right? So you guys will be able to see like kind of how it's going, and then I'll have update photos that are being put into the folder. It'll be in here, and it'll be like, these will be the before photos, and then you'll have after photos, or in like progress photos.
Hey, Jack. The one question I kind of had a little bit earlier,
Sure.
and you're touching on now. So those numbers that you are proposing, it seems like most of that stuff's like cosmetic. Do you have a buffer built in for like, you go in this house that's built in 1950, if there's any like major plumbing work, electrical work, or even if like the HVAC is 15 years old or older? Not saying those are like obviously deal breakers or would totally bend you over the rails.
Well, so I mean, those are good points, right? And so as far as like plumbing and electric goes, like I said, we haven't really gotten a like super strong inspection on it. The sellers were really weird about getting us in. There wasn't like a lockbox or something. Yeah. That being said, if there's not enough room in the budget for that, right? If I go in, I'm like, okay, I got my 40K, and I got roof, floors, paint, granite countertops, whatever, and then for some reason that runs out, I would cover the difference like out of pocket. That would be the option, right? And because there's like a 50K spread here, I'm not concerned about like making my money back on the sale. But it would be something where I would not go to my lender and say, hey, I need to increase the loan to value, because that would obviously push you guys' loan amount past like the percentage that I can really refinance out of.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just didn't know, especially like not even just this deal, but going forward, like, is that just curious on how you would navigate those situations?
Yeah. So I mean, like a lot of times you find stuff once you start cracking the walls open. It's just kind of like how life works.
Yeah.
Especially in these older houses. So like absolutely a fair question. What I would like typically, if everything is like to code, even if it's not fully updated, you can usually get away with leaving it. If it's something where it's like copper pipes or something, I would probably replace like copper pipes with like PVC or something like that. Just because it'll last better, it'll look better on inspection. When like resale buyers are buying houses, they're like, I don't want anything that can break in the next year. And I'm like, things just break sometimes. But I'm gonna do my best to eliminate all the obvious stuff, obviously.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah,
yes, you're right.
Yeah, the little I know about that realm is I know that shit could get expensive real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was just curious on like how you build that into your analysis, which
usually I have more access. Usually I have a little bit more access to the properties before I send it on them. But I like the numbers on this one so much that I was just like, we have limited access, but there's enough of a spread that if I have to if I have to increase the reno budget out of pocket, I can do that.
Yeah, so
and just so you guys feel comfortable with like knowing that I'll have the liquidity to do that. I'm getting access to some like pretty like larger business lines of credit. I'm in the process of working on those, and then I also have a couple of cash out refinances that I'm doing right now. So I have one, the renovation we finished in at the end of December, not with the same GC, but with another project manager here in Augusta. We finished at the end of December, and I should be pulling out about 20 to 25K from that one. And then I've got a duplex that I mentioned earlier that my GC is having some of his guys stay in. And that one I should be able to start another cash out refinance here in a couple of weeks, and I'll be able to pull out probably another like 15K out of that one.
Yeah, no, a different call, but I'd be interested in how you do those, set those up as well, of like multi-door properties, holding on to them for a little bit, cash out refi, and how you set those up. And just future conversation. But yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think from my vantage point, I feel like this is a good deal. What I talked to Carter is like, hopefully this grows into something bigger over the next couple of years and learn a little bit more and then figure out different deals that you can do as well.
Yeah, what I'm hoping for, and I mean, what I'm planning for is this one's going to go well. Either it's going to sell on time or I'm going to refinance you out. And either way that goes, I think it'll help build the trust that like, okay, yes, I am. I obviously you guys can trust me to get you out on time, based on like whatever agreement we have, and then also like either it'll sell fast and that's great, it looks good on me, or I get you out and that's great and it looks good on me because it shows that I'm able to take one for like to keep my like lenders safe, right? That's like the main thing for me is making sure that at the end of the day nobody lost money, and at least you guys made money. I can figure it out, right? if I don't make money, I'll just figure it out. I mean, based on its location next to those golf courses, I think it would make a great Masters rental during the Masters in April. So if like we finish the renovation mid-March and I decide that I just want to hold on to it for like an extra month or two, I'll just go do I'll buy some furniture, throw it in there, throw it up on Airbnb for a week and a half, and then I mean I'm not going to pull it up right now, but if you look at the that area of Augusta between April 7th and like 13th or something, or 4th to 11th, just look at like with the nightly rate on Airbnb. It's absurd.
It's disgusting. I've never seen anything like. I've never even seen a Super Bowl like that, to be honest.
Yeah. So like I almost might do that just because like I have like an extra set of furniture now by accident. And so I might just go furnish it just to take advantage of that 2-week period and then put it back on market.
Perfect. Yeah.